What's going on, y'all? So, I just wanted to come through and just chat it up with y'all for a bit, get y'all opinions or whatever, let y'all know some shit. Because I feel like I haven't really been putting no videos up, but this is a quick little video because y'all know I reviewed the show Queens and I was talking about it. Word came down through the pike, whatever, officially that it has been canceled. If you don't remember the show, it came on earlier this year. And it starred what's her name, Brandy, Notori Naughton, Eve, and I believe I think her name is Nadine. But basically these four women that were in a group called the Nasty Bitches that wound up changing their names to Queen as they got older because they were an older group. You know, the first hip-hop selling girl group that, you know, sold millions of copies or whatever, all this shit or whatever. So basically the concept of the show was good. The concept was great and it intrigued me mostly because we got Notori Naughton, we got Brandy, and we got Eve. We got powerhouses on here. We got Notori that comes from a girl group. Okay, so she understands what it is to be in a girl's group. Plus, you know, she got her little TV power behind her because she was on Power, you know, played Tasha about that. So, of course, you know, I wanted to see what she was going to do after that, you know, and she is a good actress and everything. She can handle her own. Eve, she's also been in the music industry, rapper extraordinaire. We know what she can do on the mic and everything. And, you know, she also can hold down a TV show of her own because she's had one. Eve was on Eve, but her character name was Shelly. That is so funny to me, bitch. Okay, Shelly, but her name was Eve. The TV show called Eve, but her character name was Shelly. Hey, it is what it is. Brandy, we know Brandy can hold down a TV show. We know that, you know, music is everything with her. We know she has a voice. And because of those factors alone, just those three alone, because I never really knew who Nadine was. I don't know if she's been in the business that long. She probably has, and I just didn't look for her. Or she probably wasn't in things that I watched, so I didn't know of her. I was very much happy and, you know, excited to look at the show because I knew that it was going to be like a musical. It was going to be along the lines of like Empire and Star. You know, we have a story to tell, and we're going to have some music interludes in there, which happened. And the concept was great. The promotion behind it was great because at one point, I kept on seeing it on every time I logged onto the computer, every time I went on to any type of website, the promo was there. It was coming up on Twitter, promoted tweets and all this stuff, promoted tweets and posts on Instagram, on TV and everything. So I was intrigued, you know. I said, okay, this seems like it's gonna be good. The trailer looked good. And that first episode, it did catch me. I was here for it, you know, and I understand that some people, they didn't like it. And I'm not going to sit up here and just be like singing the show praises. I'm one of the very few that actually enjoyed the season. But I'm not going to sit here and be like, it was great. Because if you go back and you watch my reviews for that one and only season that unfortunately it has, I pointed out a lot of stuff that kind of, you know, just didn't connect for me. Okay. And the show had a lot of potential. You have powerhouses that are together. There is no reason why this show shouldn't have been able to succeed and have as many seasons as an Empire, or at least go 3 seasons like Star did. You know, Star, which I'm still fucking pissed about. I'm still so mad about that shit. And, you know, people are trying to insinuate that the Jussie Smollett situation has something to do with the fact that Star got canceled. I already kind of figured that was what it was when Empire. But if it spilled over to the Star just because Lee Daniels was on there, that really pissed me off. Because let me tell you something. When I tell you, Star was a slow burn for me, okay? Because I didn't look at it. I looked at each episode because, it was coming off the same veil and him of Empire. Now that first season, I was like, the first couple of episodes I was trying to get a feel for. But then I started really liking it. And then when I finally fucking started reviewing this shit, the shit wanna go the fuck off, okay? Because the shit, that's what you're supposed to do, girl. You're supposed to grab our attention. If you don't grab it in the first episode, usually when people look at a new show, we look at it and we be like, okay, I'm gonna give it the first episode. You look at the first episode, sometimes you sold on it, sometimes you not necessarily sold on it. So it's like, oh, let me give it a second episode. By that second episode, you better grab everybody's fucking attention, okay? And that's how you hook them. Either you hook them on that first episode or you hook them on that second episode. That's what you need to do. And obviously, Queens had the people in the first episode. By that second episode, people was okay. By that third episode, I feel like that's when people started leaving the show. Okay, and I'm not necessarily upset at the fact that people probably really wasn't watching the show. I would have like I said, I would have liked to have a second season, only because a lot of the stuff that was going on in the first season did not get tied up in the first season, and shit just did not make sense. I don't know. I feel like the show probably need better writers. That's what it needed. It needed a better writer, better showrunner, because the storyline that they gave us, it was cute, but the plot and everything has so many holes in it. All right. A lot of stuff didn't make sense. And I understand that when we look at some of these shows on TV, we are not dealing with the reality of what's going on in the real world. Okay. Everything is not real. It's fictional. It's fictional. So, of course, they're going to make some things up. They're going to exaggerate some things. We're going to be like, oh, that should have never happened in today's time, or this will never happen ever. But we have to realize that it's a fictional show. So, of course, just let it play out. But when you trying to make it seem like this is real, you got to make it make sense. And a lot of stuff just didn't make sense in the show. And like I said, the writing, it could have been better. And these are some of the critiques that I probably didn't say, but I alluded to in my reviews or whatever, because I did not want to be so negative, in a review for a show, mostly because it was a black show. And I wanted to see it succeed. I wanted to see it to come back for a season 2, you know what I'm saying? Because around that time when Queens was on, we had Queens, we had Our Kind of People, and it was already, rumors and talks coming out about Our Kind of People getting canceled too, but we have not heard any official word about that. We had some other shows, black shows, that was out at that time as well, and it's like, oh, I just wanted all of them to win, because they were good shows to me, honestly. Like, I can look at things and not take it so serious, and Queens was one of those ones that I could take it or leave it, but I can watch it and not be so serious about it. You know what I'm saying? Just take it for what it is. Okay, that's not really gonna happen, but I can deal with it. You know what I'm saying? But it was just certain stuff that really got to me in that season. And I can understand why people fell off. Because, again, like I said, it was a lot of holes in the plot. And for me, what really did it, on the one hand, you got the situation with Eve's husband. He was cheating and she decided to stay instead of just going ahead and divorcing him. And then when she finally decided to divorce him, all of a sudden he's sick and he got to go get some brain surgery. And then you kind of find out that he got another bitch pregnant, a young girl that he was fucking around with, one of his students. And then he passed away before she can give him the divorce papers. All of a sudden, he don't remember this and he don't remember that, but then he just died in his sleep from an aneurysm or whatever, that I was just like, y'all could have played that out better. And then this whole storyline with the baby, like the lady showing up to the funeral and then she just skipping town. We don't know what the fuck happened to her. Did she get rid of the baby? Did she have a baby? Is she gonna pop up? And I'm thinking like, okay, well, see, by the end of the show, maybe we'll get some more answers to that. Oh, no, we ain't gonna get no answer to that, because at this point, Eve fucking got shot on the show. I'm sorry if I'm spoiling some shit, okay, but it is what it is. Eve's character got injured on the show, and we did not know whether or not the bitch was coming back. Oh, no, I shouldn't even say bitch. Whether or not the character was coming back or not. They played with us, and that's where they really went wrong with me, okay? At that moment towards, you had me up until the second half of the show. You really had me invested, and I was really all the way here for it and letting a lot of shit slide. But when it came to that whole situation about what happened to Eve's character, and we had to literally sit there and debate whether or not she was off the show, whether or not she died, whether or not she was coming back, or she just left the group, and then that fucking time jump. You went from being in the present to being 4 months ahead. What? You went on break because it was the mid-season finale or whatever, like the winter break or whatever, winter break. Then you come back and, bitch, we're 4 months ahead and we still don't know what the fuck happened to Eve's character. Now I understand Eve, given the fact that she was limited around this time because she was pregnant and she had a high-risk pregnancy, and that's understandable, but they still could have did that hell of a lot better. They still could have did that hell of a lot better. Honestly, I feel like unless her doctor, said that she couldn't, and I mean, I don't want to force nobody to make nobody do nothing, but unless the doctor said, bitch, you need to just be on complete bed rest, they could have made that work some way, somehow. I feel like that whole situation was lazy. It was lazy as hell. And then at the very end, when they had her on the fucking Zoom at the concert, bitch, she wasn't even there, but she talking on the goddamn camera. I said, oh no. See, no, that's not gonna work for me. It was that whole time jump, that whole little muffin shit. They tried to put in real life stuff that goes on in the industry. That part I can appreciate, but then they went overboard with it. The whole situation with Notori's character coming out and all of a sudden becoming this gay icon. That's not how it really works. That's not how it really works, okay? I fully did not 100% like the way that they did that character. All right. Because it just wasn't realistic, and that was one thing that I just let slide, because I'm like, Ashley, it's just a TV show, but in reality it just wouldn't work like that. It would not work like that. But Brandy was supposed to be a rapper, but then she wasn't on there basically rapping. We get introduced to her as an acoustic singer, a bomb ass singer, but I thought she was supposed to be a rapper. So, like, what is it? I mean, that's how they came off, your explicit lyrics. That's what your name was. And I just, honestly, I'm going to be real. I did not like the fact that they had their name being Nasty Bitches. In the 90s? People were just now starting to freaking curse on records around that time. For them to be talking, like early 90s or whatever, that's when they really started cursing on records and people being okay with that. You had the whole situation with the Too Loud Crew, get the explicit lyric, label put on the albums or whatever, and people being able to say more things on wax without being censored. But for them to be called that would never fucking fly. That would never fucking fly. Because you want to know why? A name like that is too, like, for them to have been to sold the records that they allegedly sold on the show or whatever, and be in the top group or whatever, having that name in real life, that probably would have been a hindrance. Because that would have turned people off. Because y'all know the most people that actually buy these records are white people. Okay, that would have turned people off. So Nasty Bitches. I just never. And then again, you had to have these women being up here, and they had to be so sexual in nature, and that was a big issue as well. And I guess in the 90s we did have a lot of women coming out that were being sexual, but at least have a variety, like one be sexual, one be a conscious rapper, one be a regular rapper or whatever. But it was just like too many plot holes that was not fulfilled. Okay, the whole DNA story about the baby, and did we really need that? No. The manager having Jadakiss coming after him, we didn't need that. I didn't see the point of that. The way that they brought Remy Ma on the show, even though I was cool with her coming, it was just the way that they put her in there. I don't know. Like, I still enjoyed the show. I still can go back and watch the season for what it is. And, you know, the way that they tried to play up on current events that was happening, like the conservatorship issue, you know, because of the whole situation that happened with Britney. They had a character on it that was going through the same thing. It came off corny. I'm just going to be honest. It came off corny. The show was a little corny. All right. But I can do corny for the most part. So that's why I'm not gonna say, damn, that's fucked up that it got canceled, but I understand why it did. Because it's like what people said about Empire. I know a lot of people fell off from Empire when that episode came on with Cookie came down there in that gorilla suit. Oh, people was like, you know what? That's my cue to exit. And then towards the end, like Empire, honestly, I feel like Empire probably should have ended a little bit earlier than it did, because the last couple of seasons or so, it got ridiculous as hell. When Lucius came back with that goddamn mop ass wig on his head, I said, what the fuck is this? When he lost all his amnesia, he had that storyline when Demi Moore was on there and they were stuck up in that cabin and she was going crazy and everything. I didn't understand that either, okay? And you want to know what made me so mad about Empire and the way that they closed that shit off because it got canceled and I guess they wasn't ready for it? In the last season, remember when Felicia Rashad was on there? She was the head of the family that was going against the Lions. And remember when she got locked up? And then she had, they had Lucia's brother coming up there to visit her. And before he died or whatever, they had a plan that they was going to try to get the Lions. And then it came back that her family was going to still try to get him. And it was another plan that was out there trying to take the Lions down. But we never got to that plan. They put that out there and never touched up on it. I said, what was the point of introducing that? I mean, they had prime time in the season to introduce it, but they never did. Like, that show, the way Empire fell off, wow. Empire had so much potential. And it just, it just jumped the shark. But y'all tell me how y'all feel. Did y'all watch Queens? Okay, do you understand where I'm coming from? And if you watched Queens and you stopped, when did you stop and what made you stop watching it? I just want these shows to... we're trying to get back into the habit of having more black shows, more shows that have people of color in general on there that are the lead, you know. And when we do that, I need these producers, I need these writers to understand that they have to come with it. They have to come with it, and things have to make sense. Okay? It can be fictional. It can be based off a real thing. It can be all of that, but it has to make sense. These storylines have to tie in and they have to be tight. And I know, you know, it may seem as though we're being so critical of, you know, our own, but that's only because we want us to look good and we want us to succeed, you know. And just because you're black or whatever, or you're a person of color, that does not mean that you are above being criticized. It's not us trying to tear something down or gloat that this happened or whatever. It's a learning thing, you know, so that the next one can just go ahead and be a little bit better. Learn from this and try to, you know, tighten up for the next time. You know, sometimes you win, sometimes you lose. It is what it is. No one is above reproach. No one is above criticism. And it just didn't happen with Queens. It's unfortunate. Bring Star back. Because, bitch, did Cassie die? Okay? Like, the way she took that bullet, it looked like it tore her stomach the fuck up. But, bitch, you know, stranger things have happened. Stranger things have happened. She could have came back from that. And Luke James' mama, was it Luke James' mama or was it Star Mama? Bitch, get the baby back. Get the baby back. And did Angel get blown up in that car? Oh my God, I gotta go back and look at Star again. The only most ridiculous storyline on Star that I did not like was the crazy girl. The girl that was crazy and had Ryan Destiny locked up or whatever and doing all that, you know, psychotic fan shit. I just didn't like that. Even though we got that shit like that has happened. You know, I didn't care for that storyline. And I didn't care for the fact that they took the grandma out the way that they took the grandma out. They ain't have to do that. They ain't have to do that. But other than that, I love Star had some bops, bitch. Star had some bops. And see, that's the thing about Queens. Queen had songs on there, original songs, but they just didn't connect. Like the songs that was on Queens were not songs that I would literally just get on iTunes or get on Tidal and download and listen to over and over again like Empire and Star did. Cause let me tell you something, one of the best shit that happened on fucking Star, bitch. Okay. On Empire, the best song that was on Empire was the one that had Jussie Smollett in there when man loves a man, man loves a man. That at the very beginning. You're so beautiful. Whatever the fuck that was. I was so tired of that damn song because y'all wore that shit out. Okay? But on Star, when she got up in that boot and she did that whole diss fucking track. Yes. I said, Lee Daniels, y'all got that shit right then. Y'all got that shit right then, bitch. I don't know what the fuck happened with Queens, but it was a disconnect. That's all that it was. It was a disconnect. It felt like they was trying to get the glory or whatever, get that essence from Empire and Star and put it up in Queens. Because I don't know if the same people that did Queens worked on Empire and Star, but that's what it felt like happened. And it kind of felt a little flat. It had a little momentum and then it just went flat. But, yeah. Y'all tell me how y'all feel about it. Tell me, put down in the comments some shows that you felt that started off good and then you was just like, no ma'am, this just not it no more. Like, what am I watching? Okay? Or, some shows that got canceled prematurely and they should have had more seasons or a second season or whatever. Put that down in the comments. Let's discuss, y'all. I'll see y'all later. Peace.